Next up, as you said, is the Fiesta ST Championship. Liam McGill on pole position, beating his championship rival to pole, which is Stephen Gray. Stephen Gray leads the championship, Liam McGill second. Let's see if we can have a quick word before they go out. It's a bit warm. Liam, put it on pole, winning already.
What was that? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Sorry, you put it on pole, you're winning already.
Yeah, well, we don't know because we were having problems with the head gasket. So it was overheating in qualifying. We've really just put in a bottle of steel seal to see if it'll work, but we're not too hopeful, so we just have to keep our eye on the temperature.
So it all could go pear-shaped at any point?
Yeah, it could do.
Not what you want to hear just before the race, is it?
Keep the fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, good luck. It's going to be beautiful out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. And let's see if we can grab Stephen Gray, who's actually the leader of the championship. So, Stephen, your mind focused there. It's going to be a tough one.
It will be, yeah. Obviously, you probably saw the times, an incredible lap from Liam going out there, so it's going to be hard keeping up with him and also managing the heat as well. It's so hot here today.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. The tyres are going to come into play.
I think so. We raced here last year and a lot of us really struggled with the tyres through the whole race distance, so I think it might be a deciding factor, to be honest.
And you've got a 30-point lead over Liam at the minute, so you need to be there or thereabouts, don't you, to keep that lead?
Yeah, that's the plan. Liam's very fast, so it's points for me today just to kind of try and maintain that gap as best I can.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers, let's go and speak to a few other people, shall we? Is this in third place on... Mr. Orr, how are you?
I'm alright, thanks.
Good, decent qualifying time?
Yeah, it was better than I was expecting, to be honest. First time at the track, so take anything I can get, really.
What's the Fiesta like around Cadwell?
Yeah, it's good. It's good through the twisties, but fast enough in the straight, so yeah, it's really good.
Cool. Good, and what's the plan?
Just survive. It's really hot out here today. So.
Yeah. Do you have aircon in here?
No.
Alright, well, good luck.
Thank you.
We've got a bit of time because of recovery going on, so let's go and speak to a few other people. Fourth on the grid is Mr. Preedy.
How you doing?
How you doing? You warm enough?
Yeah, pretty hot in here.
Yeah. What have you got to do to manage the car? You've got to manage yourself as well and the tyres.
Yeah, I guess just drive a lot smoother than we usually do. Yeah, not be as aggressive on the corners. Yeah, just going to try and take a smooth line. And
is that easy to do?
It can be. It's easy to overdrive the car as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going to try and keep it nice and smooth and try and maintain fourth position today, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
Very much. And we've got Mr. Murray. His looks really, really relaxed. You relaxed enough?
Yeah, good. This is my first race this season, so I'm just out to have fun. So no expectations, just trying to survive the heat.
First time out racing, it's quite a place to do it.
Oh, this is a fantastic track. I was here last year, so I was just keen to get back and do it this round. So yeah, looking forward to it.
As it's named the Mini Nürburgring, several little sections. There's a twisty bit through the forest. You've got the long bends, right-handers up at Charlie's, and then you've got a gooseneck, a lot of undulation. G-force goes everywhere, doesn't it? So what's your favourite part?
Probably Coppice. It's having the cojones to keep it nailed through there. But my weakest area is probably into the gooseneck. I know Mr. Preedy seems to have that dialed in, so that's probably my weakest area. But yeah, but it's a great track, and it's just kind of trying to keep the flow from corner to corner. So
yeah, with the heat as well, you've got to keep an eye. Well, you've got to manage not only yourself, the car, the tyres. What are you going to be keeping an eye on? Obviously the racing.
Yeah, I suppose just probably the tyres. The tyres will probably go off quite quickly, so it'll be just trying to manage the grip levels, I guess. So obviously this is race 1, so it's an unknown quantity, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Go and enjoy yourself.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, and it is very warm down here, I'll tell you that right now. So we might as well go through the whole field, have we? Let's see what we've got now. I was opening the door. Yeah, the recovery is still going on. Mr. Buckley.
Yes, hello.
You're looking very warm. You look composed as well.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this one actually. It should be really good. Temperatures are hot obviously, but I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a good one. Yep.
Yeah, well, we got treated last time with the reverse track at Knockhill. Now we're here at the Mini Nürburgring. You got to be smiling.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. I got my first podium up at reverse track as well, so looking forward to this one. Push some.
Got another podium for you.
Hopefully, you never know.
Good luck.
Excellent, cheers.
Cheers.
Race 1 of the Scottish ST Cup. It is going to be a close race. We've seen some great racing already today, and now we're expecting to see even more as the day goes on. The 1 minute board is up before we head out on what is going to be an exciting race. It's not a massive grid, but it's time to have race 1 of the ST Cup. But in race 1, it will be Liam McGill who will line up on pole position with Stephen Gray in second alongside him. Brody R will be starting in third with Kieran Preedy in fourth, Lorne Murray in fifth, and Ian Blakely will be starting in sixth, with Peter Cruikshank will be starting in seventh, with Andrew Mackey will be starting in eighth. So the green flag waves. It's quite a short grid here, only an 8-car field, but it is going to produce some great racing. We've seen in that C1 Cup that it was about a 5 or 6 battle for the win, so it's a high possibility that we can see that something very, very similar for this ST Championship. But the real question is going to be is how will these drivers cope with these conditions, because this is the UK and this is the Scottish Championship. We are not used to these types of conditions. We're used to wet and pretty miserable conditions, but now we are here in the sunshine, in the English sunshine, and we are loving it. We are, all the drivers and all the officials and just everyone involved is really just soaking up the atmosphere and enjoying and appreciating that we can make the trip down here to Cadwell Park. It's been a tough couple of years for everyone, so it's great to be here and it's great to have such an excellent championship with such excellent racing for us to watch and for us just to enjoy. But all the drivers in this field, all 8 drivers will be looking to win this race, because even if you're starting in 6th position or 7th, you can still have a chance of getting a podium and getting a good result and just getting valuable championship points, because it's something that at this point in the season you really just want to aim for, because these cars, they're pretty fast. These are 2-litre powered cars with a Duratec power, which is actually the same engine that you use in the road cars. And of course these cars use the Yokohama tyres as well. So it's great to see such good involvement and such good racing that we're going to have from these. With although the numbers not that great, we're going to have some great racing as they head round on this formation lap before we head out and before we have lights out. These cars, of course, will have another race later on, and we will definitely get a picture in this race to see what the second race is going to be like. But there is the number 31 on your screen right now, Brody R, just coming up the mountain, coming over the rise and just getting ready with the fans, sitting in such a great place to watch racing. That is at the back side of the mountain. You just get to see the cars rise up through the mountain, and if you're not high enough on that sitting area, you can sometimes just completely lose them as they head over the crest. But obviously we just wait. This is of course green flag lap before then we head to the grid to go for lights out and tension now, and the nerves will be properly building inside these drivers. They'll really be almost scared, I guess is the best word to use, of butterflies in their stomach as they head towards the grid. It's one of the most amazing feelings in the world, is waiting on this grid and waiting for lights going out, and just that rush that all these drivers are going to get as they head down to Coppice. And what is such a great corner, it's such a great racetrack. All these drivers enjoying this track. They're really enjoying being here and enjoying a new experience for them, because some of these drivers, it's only their second time at the circuit, and some of them even the first time at the circuit, because of course the SMRC did come here last year for the away leg of the season. But we're back again, and we're back with the Scottish ST Cup as we wait for the 5-second board to get shown up in the air. There it is. There it's gone. We wait for the lights to come on, and lights are on, and lights are out, and we are racing. And it's been a pretty good start from number 24 of Stephen Gray. Stephen Gray, though, is going to have a drag race of Liam Miguel going towards Coppice. Liam Miguel is the inside line, but Stephen Gray is going to try and stick it round the outside. But now it's third place Kieran Pride, who's wanting and to try and make a move. But he can find, it looks like he's not going to be able to find any way past. No, he cannot. Stephen Gray is still in second place right now with Liam Miguel. And in first place right now, there's nothing between them, and it's something that we're just going to have to wait and see. This is race 1 of the ST Cup, and waiting to see if Liam Miguel can get away with this lead and just stay there. Because if he can command this race lead, he'll be able to almost get a full plan in place for race 2, as we see the cars just tapping the grass. We've seen it in the C1 class quite a lot, and that is just touching the grass, getting some dust kicked up. It almost blinds your rivals if they're close enough behind you. But it's, of course, none of them doing it intentionally, because it will lose you a slight bit of time. It's just trying to get on that power as soon as you can with these Yokohama tyres as we head down Mansfield, out of Mansfield towards the twisty part of the track, the mountain section, and then it's really, really challenging. These cars are pretty wide for this racetrack. These are almost the widest class that we have here at the SMRC Car Racing Championship, and we head over the mountain. You can see the cars just slightly jumping up and down as they head over the rise, over the crest, and then towards what is Hall Bends. And these cars are so good to watch around Hall Bends. It surprised me yesterday just seeing how loose that rear end gets going around Hall Bends, just stamping on the power just to get the car turned, and having pure faith in your Yokohama tyres just to keep it stuck on the road and just to keep it up. And it looks like Liam Miguel has kept this race lead up, and right now he comes across the line with what is a 2-second lead from Stephen Gray. So Stephen Gray, he's really got to stick his finger out and get his elbows out to really try and catch up, because although he'll be happy with a second place, if he can just have a battle for that lead, just try and disrupt Liam Miguel's rhythm, that is whenever we're really going to see this race bunch up. Only an 8-car field, but this is only the start of the race. It's quite a long race, 18 minutes left. It's a 20-minute race once again. So these drivers have a long, long race to stay in these cars and keep up their power for the end of the race. It's really just trying to preserve yourself, and stay focused is such a difficult thing, because when you're sweating, which all these drivers will be in a couple minutes time if they're not already sweating in these hot cars, sometimes your sweat can drip onto your eyes and it makes your eyes sting, and it's so hard to be able to drive, and it's really, really difficult to still put in the lap times with that little bit of pain. But there we see him coming through Mansfield, and then straight out of Mansfield, straight onto the power, almost touching the white line on the way out there. Some of them even driving along the white line as we come round to the mountain section once again for what is lap 2 of this ST Cup race. So far, Liam Miguel leads the way. Will he extend his gap this time around? We're just going to have to wait and find out. Midfield, though, it looks like it's all starting to bunch up with Kieran Pride and Ian, but it looks like right now it is Miguel who is in control. He heads through the hairpin towards Barn, and out of Barn they will come and power it through. You can just hear how loud these cars actually are. They're the loudest class that we have here at the SMRC Car Racing Championship. And there's a car on the grass on the exit there. I believe that's Ian Blackley, and it was, yes, on that blue Ford. So now he's just powered it through. Now it looks like it's the number 5, Lauren Murray, diving down the inside of Peter Cruikshank, and it looks like she's made it way, she got past, and now Peter Cruikshank has been demoted down to 7th position right now. So midfield, the battle is raging on, but up front, it's now a 3.4 second lead to Liam Miguel. So Liam Miguel on the number 62 Ford as the car goes in the grass. I believe actually that was Lauren Murray who was in the grass there, so it's not what you'll be wanting. But there's the 61 now, Peter Cruikshank in the battle with Andrew Mackay. So it's really, really difficult conditions out here. You can just see now drivers once again hitting the grass, kicking up the dust. And there is the 21 on your screen, Kieran Pride in 4th position right now. He wants that podium position, but can he catch up to Brody Orr? Because Brody Orr is last lap, 7 tenths up the road, so it's really going to have to be a real test as we go into this race. 15 minutes left in this race, so plenty of time. Maybe, just maybe, Kieran Pride is just using his head, just trying to get in a sensible position, which 4th place is, and be in a good position for the final lap of the race. So on the final lap, he can then pounce and just slowly bridge up that gap without doing anything stupid. Because in these conditions, although it's so hot, it's still so easy to lock up your brakes around this track, especially Mansfield, just because it's downhill. It's putting a lot of pressure on your front end, a lot of pressure on your tyres. So as you tip in, too much pressure on that front brake and you lock up, and there's number 24 on the screen coming through your picture, just powering it out, and that was Stephen Gray just trying to catch up to Liam Miguel, but Liam Miguel, dominant performance so far as Liam Miguel comes towards the line as Stephen Gray closely follows, but Stephen Gray is now 5 seconds back. So Liam Miguel right now just putting in the laps, the only person that it was in the 46.5 this race. Everyone else is in the 48. So Liam Miguel putting in the laps, putting in the times, and right now the result is showing for it. I mean, it's such a dominant performance that he's got, and it's one as we head out of Charlie's towards Park Straight, which actually Charlie's and Chris Curve were named after members of the Mansfield family, which built this circuit back in the early 1900s. So it's great to see that the circuit has so much legacy behind it, mainly with bikes, but cars have also came here. Formula 3 has raced here back in the day, so it's a great circuit, and it's a challenging one for all these drivers, and because it's a challenging circuit, all the drivers love it. But there is Murray just trying to catch up, Warren Murray just trying to find any way past Blackley, and so now we come towards Mansfield, we come down the dip, we come onto the brakes. Murray, though, is lurking. They're really just trying to push on. You can see actually heading onto the grass, going over the curb, using some of the curb, and then some. So it just shows how hard they're pushing. They're on lap 4 right now. There's Murray in your shot, going towards the mountain, clipping over the curb. No, they will not. They'll not touch the curb. But over the rise, triple free in front, you know, Ian Blackley, and now Blackley is just trying to get Murray out of the rear mirrors. They would not want to see a car and a Ford Fiesta there right now. They would love to see a clear track behind them where they can just sit there and do their own lines, and that is when you get fast lap time. So that might just be why, for example, they're in the 48s, because Miguel up front has managed just to break free and straight away put in their own laps of their own times and consistent lines, which gives you your time at Cadwell Park. Well, for example, Blackley and Murray have had this to worry about, have had other cars to worry about, have had battles midway through the race, sending them slightly wide. So now we just have to wait and see the cars coming through now. So far, actually, no incidents, not trying to jinx anything, but the top 8 and the 8 cars in this race all making it through cleanly so far as we head with 8 minutes into the race so far. Murray just trying to find any pass Blackley, and yes, Murray dives down the inside at Park Corner, gets past Will. Murray runs slightly wide. No, they will not as we head towards turn 5. Chris Curve, he's just trying to keep the car on the road, get the line perfect. So we then go to Gooseneck. Gooseneck's so tricky. You can see actually some smoke coming out of the car for Blackley, just coming out there. Maybe it's just a bit too low, bottoming out slightly, or a bit of tyre rubbing against a bit of body work, just causing a bit of blue smoke. But we watch on and we see the cars now heading to the technical part of the track. This is the part that matters, and there is Murray doing what matters in 5th place right now, the top 5. It's where you want to be. If you're not on the podium, you want to at least be in that top 5, heading over the mountain, doing what they love, and that is car racing. That is beautiful condition outside. You can just see how lovely this track looks. You can just see the greenery as well all around the circuit. It's covered in tree lines, so plenty of shade for all the marshals out here and all the photographers and cameramen. So it's great to be here today, and it's great for this class, because this class right now, it's producing what is a great battle for 5th place. So now we come across the line. You can see car off in the background right now. Andrew Mackey just slightly touching the grass on the exit there as we come across the line, and we come round to go into lap 6 of this race. Liam Miguel leading still, and now it's at 8.2 seconds, just to update you on Liam Miguel's lead. And now Brodie Orr is 1.2 back from Stephen Gray. So the battle for 2nd place is not over yet, but it's Murray who now leads the way down Park Straight, who really, down Park Straight, you're just trying to catch your breath, if that's even possible in this class. And these cars, of course, have produced some great drivers, and actually drivers such as 3-time British Touring Car Champion, and we see Murray actually off. but back on, once again, touching the grass in between turn 4 and 5. So really just using every single inch, and there you can see, once again, Blackley just run there, maybe just a bit of tire touching the bodywork, but this class has produced some great drivers, such as three-time British Touring Car champion Gordon Shedden has started his career in the Fiesta ST Cup in the Scottish Championship. So great drivers have came from here, and it's a great drive so far from Liam McGill. Just needs to bring it home in what will be a commanding race victory. 6 laps in, 10 minutes in this race. We're at the halfway point now, and now it is at the point where you just need to bring it home. And there we see still pushing on though, right over the curb, bouncing over the curb actually I should say, as we see there's a change once again for that 5th place. Murray is still in that 5th place, just managed to keep that position now. So the real question is, can Blackley just try and catch back up, as we see Liam McGill still leading. But there is Stephen Gray, there is the chasing man, but he has to start thinking about defending from Brody Orr, because Brody Orr is putting in consistent times now, and Brody Orr is keeping the gap about the same. So maybe, just maybe, with all the information that he has learned in the past 11 minutes, can he make a move on Stephen Gray? As now we head round of what is lap 7 for these guys, and Liam McGill just trying to push on. These cars in the 148s, everyone now back into the 148s. It looks like McGill has just settled a little bit and just kept focus, and it's really shown, because McGill back into the 48-second marker, but still faster than anyone else, still 4 tenths faster than anyone else. And he's still quite a bit off his fastest lap, which is about 1.5 seconds off. But there is Gray on your screen, just still pushing on. It's so hot. These drivers now will be completely sweating in the car. They'll be basically sitting in a bucket of sweat in their bucket seats in these Ford Fiesta STs. So now we head through Mansfield. We break down and we head and we just try and not lock up the brakes, because it's so easy, as I said earlier, just to lock up the brakes at Mansfield. And it's really just Stephen Gray now realizing that maybe Liam McGill is too far in front, and it's almost at a point where if he does try and catch up with just 8 minutes left, he may overdrive the car, and that is where you start running wide, you start almost pushing harder, but your lap times get slower, which just causes a cycle of pushing harder and harder, and then your lap times never come. So it's just about relaxing yourself at this point and just keeping focus. And there is Gray for your picture of Brody Orr closely behind. And working once again as Kieran Preedy. Kieran Preedy just been staying in that 4th position quite cleanly and just watching the 2 white Ford Fiesta STs up front. And it's at the point now where 7 minutes to go in this race. We're at the closing stages of this race. Liam McGill gap is now up to 9.4 seconds. So he's almost making it up to 10 seconds. He almost drops his wheel onto the grass as we head down to what will be Park Corner, turn 4. And it's such a great overtaking opportunity. We've seen it in the C1 Cup, 3 wide at this corner, and it's a corner which you don't see because of the crest that happened on the Park Straight. So it's really just about trusting the track and having knowledge of the track, knowing that the corner is there. But there is McGill. You can see that with the bright green car. It's so easy to tell, and you can see it with the massive McGill that is on the side of the cars to head down Mansfield. Just get the car turned in, hit the apex, get back on the power, and leave the rest behind them. As now Brody Orr is Brody Orr is still in that 3rd place, as now the top from 3rd to, well, 3rd, 4th and 2nd place are starting to bunch up now. You can just see it here in your picture. It's starting just to close up slightly, ever so slightly, but there's 6 minutes left in this race, so it's going to be a real question of, is there enough time? Because right now, Brody Orr looks very, very racy for Stephen Gray. It looks like he's trying absolutely everything. As now we head round, they're going to flick it to the right and then to the left, get the rear end stepping out as they flick it to the left. It's just having that faith in your Yokohama tyres, which all these drivers do. They had all of yesterday to practice, and it really, really shows. But now you can just hear how loud these cars are. And now the number 21 of Preedy, as we come round the final corner, we come round Barn and power all the way down the straight, using all of this 2-litre Duratec engine that we have inside this car. And we see a car going onto the grass there, actually, as we head onto the main straight. I believe that was Andrew Mackey just dipping the wheel onto the grass. That would affect his drive onto the straight as well, and it's affected his run to Peter Cruikshank, and it's now 0.8 of a second gap between 7th and 8th place. But now the gap between Stephen Gray and Brody Orr is 1.1 seconds, so the gap has came down by 0.3. So now Brody Orr really pushing on. He knows 5 minutes left. He'll have a pit board out telling them how long is left in this race, how many laps, give or take, is left, and he'll know how long he has and how hard he needs to push the car, because Stephen Gray right now, he's just putting in consistent lap times as Liam Miguel dips into the 47s again. So Liam Miguel still faster than absolutely everyone on track, still the average lap time about a 48 second. So all throughout the race, all the drivers have stayed at a consistent lap time. Obviously, Liam Miguel got a couple of very, very quick laps straight away, but now it's at the point where eased off a little bit, and this gap has definitely came down for second place. Stephen Gray is under some pressure now from Brody Orr. Brody Orr has bridged that gap for second place. He wants that. No, he wants another step on that podium position, which if they start battling now, it could even let Kieran Preedy into play. But yeah, you can see visibly now, Brody Orr, that gap has came down, and he wants a way past both of them, of course, in that white Ford Fiesta ST. The only way you can tell them really apart is Brody Orr's bright pink wheels. As we head around the hairpin, we power out, we come to the braking point, to Barn, power down the straight. Will Brody Orr be able to get into the slipstream as we come across the line? We're just going to have to wait to see what will the gap be now. Last time around, keep in mind it was 1.1 seconds, and now the gap as we come hit the timing beam is now just 0.3 of a second. So Brody Orr is looking very, very strong. A slow lap from Stephen Gray back into the 49s actually, as we just have about 3.5 minutes left in this race. So it's at the point now where we're in the lateral stages. So if Brody Orr wants to make a pass, he needs to make it soon. He only has a couple laps left to line up a move, find where he wants to make that move, and then make it stick. It may even be the last lap that he may try it on, but that's what we love about the SMRC Championship. It's close racing all the way throughout the field, and the battle is still raging on for 6th place right now with Cruikshank and Mackey. So right now, the gap is closed for 2nd place, and Liam Miguel, though, still out front. It's now a 12.2 second lead that he has over Stephen Gray. So it's a dominant performance so far. But anything can change. Less than 3 minutes to go in this race, and now it is Gray who has to start thinking about defending, has to start thinking about taking a slightly tighter line just to make sure that Brody Orr cannot get past. But Brody Orr will want to try and change that. Brody Orr will want to try and find a way past, but he's not going to do it here, because as we've seen in the Cooper Cup race, the move here doesn't work yet. You almost send your rival into the grass. But these guys, they love hard racing, as does everyone here at the SMRC. We love clean but hard racing. It's what racing's all about as we head round Hall Bends and we head towards the hairpin. And we see them just about to appear towards the hairpin. Stephen Gray drifting at the rear end, but now that's Brody Orr on the grass. 2 wheels still on the track, and now he's on his rear bumper. He's in the slipstream, and now he's looking to dive down the inside and what is going to be a move into turn 1, into Coppice. Will he line it up? It doesn't look like. It looks like he's a bit too far back for Coppice. So now he just has to use his head. 18 minutes in this race. So now he just has to use his head, keep calm, because Liam Miguel, 13.8 seconds in front, and what has been a great race with just 2.5 minutes left in this race. The driver should get about 2 laps left of this race. So another 2 laps for Stephen Gray just to keep defending and keep Brody Orr behind. But Brody Orr, of course, will have completely different plans as we head down what is Park Straight into Park Corner, turn 4, before we head into Chris Curve. So right now it's all about Stephen Gray and Brody Orr, this battle for 2nd place in the 2nd position, and who is actually going to be alongside what is going to be a dominant win from Liam Miguel, because Liam Miguel looks to be winning this race if he can just bring it home. But of course, this is racing, anything can happen, because Kieran Preedy is lurking behind there in 4th place, but there is the race leader making way for a shot, and there's the man in 2nd place having to defend now from Brody Orr. Brody Orr, though, looking just to slip a little bit further back from what we previously have seen him, but he looks good for his final sector. It looks like he should bunch up. Usually coming through the hairpin and Barn, he's on his tail end, and he's almost touching his bumper all the way through there. But Stephen Gray, he is not cracking. He's not showing any ounce of backing out of this. It looks like he's going right to the end of this, but now it's real test to see, will Brody Orr be able to catch up in this final sector? We'll see it whenever they come through the hairpin towards Barn, just to see if this gap is about the same as we head on to the last lap. The last lap board is out, and Liam McGill comes onto that last lap. He will have a pit board out, and he will see he has over 10 seconds lead as we wait for the drivers to come round the line, wait for second place to come across the line as Liam McGill comes round what is turn 3 onto Park Straight for the final time. And now Liam McGill, he's just keeping it focused, keeping it calm. 14.7 seconds he has in the bag as that gap between Stephen Gray and Brodie Orr has opened up. It's now 0.8 of a second. But there's Kieran Preedy still in 4th place, and it's the battle actually for Peter Cruikshank and Andrew Mackey for the final position for the 8th place, which that battle is all about. But all eyes right now well beyond Liam McGill, as Liam McGill from lap 1 has looked so confident. He's looked like he knows the track like the back of his hands. He touched the grass slightly there going into Mansfield. Heading out of Mansfield now though, as we see the 2nd place and 3rd place car slightly wider, slightly more space gap now, but Liam McGill going into the final sector now. Final time over the mountain it will be for him. Heading over the mountain, he will be loving this now. There'll be a big smile on his face. The spectators all watching him come through after what has been a very, very dominant performance coming through Hall Bends and then towards the hairpin for the final time. 2 more corners left. Will Liam McGill just be able to hold on to this? It looks like he will. He bounces over the curb onto the exit curb using every single inch of track, which is why he has such a dominant performance. He waits. The checker flag flies. He waiting for him. Liam McGill wins the first race for the Scottish ST Cup and wins in such a dominant fashion. And now we wait. Who will get that 2nd position? It looks like it's going to be Stephen Gray. If Stephen Gray can just get the drive out this final corner, the checker flag is flying. Stephen Gray comes across the line to take 2nd place, and he is he's 15 seconds back from Liam McGill, with Brodie Orr to 0.8 back once again. So Brodie Orr just couldn't make up that time on the final couple of laps. Kieran Preedy coming home in 4th with Lauren Murray getting that 5th place. So dominant drive once again from Liam McGill, and it was one that was fought, well, it was one that was done by the 1st lap. I mean, it was straight from the word get-go. He just went for it, and he disappeared off into the distance. But Peter Cruikshank and Andrew Mackey finished off their battle for the final position for 7th place on that final lap there, and Peter Cruikshank coming home in 7th, getting the better of Andrew Mackay in the end.